So, welcome back, my crumb-covered comrades, my shade-chasing sentinels of survival. Hobo Yeti here, broadcasting from the edge of nowhere, or as I like to call it, Tuesday. Now, I've seen a lot of homeless people in my time, been one, I am one, and there's something about it, when you watch folks long enough, you can kind of tell what stage they're in. Some are new to it, still looking for the right phone number to call, still keeping receipts. Others, well, they've been at it a while, but they haven't broken yet. They're just worn. But then there are those who've been homeless too long enough that the thread snaps, the invisibility gets to them. Not just the hunger or the weather or the lack of a damn socket to charge your power pack, but the psychic erosion of being unseen long enough that you stop whispering and start yelling at the sky just to remind it you're still here. And when that day comes, my friend, you'll know. Because 1. You've given up on the perfect camp setup. There was a time when you took pride in your layout. You'd tweak the tarp angle for runoff, insulate with leaves, even try out weird tricks you read on survival forums. But somewhere along the line, something in you broke, subtle, quiet. Now the tent goes wherever it goes. You chuck the tarp over like a lazy ghost costume, and if it doesn't flap itself into space, you call it a win. A cold puddle near your ribs, that's just character development. Perfection is a memory. Now staying dry-ish is a victory, and staying warm, that's a luxury for kings. You look at your camp like a grizzled contractor and say, she's not pretty, but she ain't fallen down. 2. You get loud. At first you tried to blend in, you whispered in doorways, slunk through shadows, made sure no one noticed you unless absolutely necessary. But invisibility has a cost. You stop being seen and eventually you stop existing, and when that silence hollows you out, something inside flips. Now you speak in full volume, you sing, you rant, you hold a town meeting with no one else present but the pigeons and a wet cat. Maybe you hang flags around your tarp like some anarchist Burning Man shrine. It's not insanity, it's identity reclamation. If the world's going to treat you like noise, then you may as well be the loudest damn noise in the lot. You've earned your volume. 3, you don't do laundry anymore. Laundry used to be a mission. Find the right sink, maybe a bathroom with a hand dryer, the sunniest patch of grass. But all that effort for what? A shirt that smells faintly less like despair? Nah. These days, you let your clothes ride the wave of entropy. When they stop being clothes and start being biohazards, that's when you hit the church pantry and ask what's in the donation bin. Fit doesn't matter. Style? Please. You once wore a pair of pink yoga pants under army fatigues and called it layers. Now you treat clothing like napkins. Use, wipe, toss, repeat. You don't do laundry, you do turnover. Fresh clothes are just the soft reboot of your outer shell. 4. You've become a master scavenger. You've developed a sixth sense for forgotten treasure. A coffee lid flutters under a bush and your brain lights up like it's Christmas. You can spot a dropped zip tie at 20 paces. You see garbage differently now. It's not refuse, it's inventory. That black bag in the trees could be leaves, could be a broken George Foreman grill with a working cord. And, you're willing to check. A shattered umbrella isn't trash, it's a future tarp pole. You know which dumpsters have the good broken furniture. You can detect fabric softener through plastic. You've become a human metal detector with depression. It's not glamorous, but when you score a working flashlight, it's like winning a tiny, filthy lottery. 5. You've given up completely on the idea of getting out. At first there was a plan. Get a job, save up, move into a room, get a better job, move up. Like a video game, you thought, just grind and level up. But after enough setbacks, enough lies, enough mornings waking up soaked and hungry with a broken zipper, you stop leveling, you stop believing. The idea of getting out becomes this ghost idea, something whispered about by social workers and pamphlets. Now you don't talk about escape, you talk about shelter, you talk about today, you talk about not freezing. The future? That's for other people. You stop believing in ladders when all the rungs kept snapping under your feet. Now you just stay where the rain doesn't hit. 6. Some give up on hygiene altogether. There's a moment, and if you've seen it, someone gives up. They stop caring. They don't bathe, don't change clothes. Their scent becomes a perimeter. You watch the light go out of their posture. It's not laziness, it's loss. When hope dies, hygiene's not far behind. Maybe they still rinse their hands, maybe not. Maybe they keep a comb in their pocket but never use it. The point is, they stop trying to be palatable to a world that treats them like rot. You don't just smell bad, you become bad in their eyes, and after a while, that distance gives you room to breathe, room to smell. You're not a person anymore. You're a warning, a mirror. 7. You forget what your own voice sounds like. There's a silence that creeps in when no one talks to you. You go days, weeks, saying only the minimum. No, thanks. I'm just resting. And one day you hear yourself mumble and flinch. Your voice sounds wrong, tinny, echoing off the inside of your skull like it doesn't belong to you. Maybe you start narrating your thoughts just to prove you're still in there. Okay, we're walking now. Good, that's a tree. That's a cop. It's not madness, it's resistance. You're reminding yourself that you exist, that you can still form words, because being mute isn't just about silence, it's about being erased. And once your voice goes, it's a hell of a climb to get it back. 8. You say, I used to care about that a lot. Someone asks if you want mustard and you shrug. You used to have favorite brands, used to have rules. You liked things a certain way. But you know, that kind of specificity requires energy, effort, a belief that what you want even matters. These days, everything falls under the umbrella of whatever. You say it so much it becomes a mantra. Socks don't match? Whatever. Tarp smells like dog pee? Whatever. You stop pursuing preference because preference requires choice, and choice feels like a luxury. You used to care, now you conserve. Now you prioritize things like dry and edible over nice and fresh. You weren't always like this, but now, mustard is mustard, and dinner is dinner, and whatever. 9. You can sleep through anything. Your nervous system has recalibrated to chaos. Fireworks, background noise, screaming match, white noise machine, raccoon rummaging through your camp. Mildly entertaining. You've hit the point where sleep is so precious, so scarce, that once you get it, you cling like a corpse to a mattress you once slept through someone setting up a tent on top of your spot. Another time, a guy literally tripped over your leg, and you woke up just long enough to roll away like a sleepy armadillo. You've stopped asking for peace and quiet. You've adapted. You've evolved. You could sleep through a riot if it wasn't too windy. It's not just a skill, it's survival. And honestly, it's kind of impressive. 10. You start thinking of yourself in the third person. It happens subtly at first. He's having a rough day, you mumble, talking about yourself. Then it sticks. You become both the narrator and the subject. You say things like, let's not do that again, or we're not falling for that scam twice. It's a coping trick, a way to distance the you who's enduring this from the you that still feels real. Sometimes you make yourself a character, a rogue, a wanderer, a wise old hermit who's seen too much. It helps. It builds a frame around the mess. You're not just surviving, he's on a journey. You find comfort in that gap, because if you're someone else, even for a minute, then maybe this isn't your life. Maybe it's just a story. 11. You can't sleep in a hotel. Someone gives you a miracle. One night indoors, a cheap motel, clean bed, real pillow, actual climate control. Should be heaven. But the silence is too loud, the mattress too soft, the lights too bright or too dark or just wrong. You lie there rigid, waiting for sounds that never come. The distant traffic, the raccoon, the other guy coughing through a tarp wall. The sheets smell like detergent, and you miss the musk of mildew and body heat. Your body doesn't trust it, you don't trust it, so you stare at the ceiling fan until morning and wonder if this is what being safe feels like. Because if it is, it feels like dying sideways. 12. You've become comfortable with uncomfortable truths. You know the risk now, you know the numbers. You've heard the stories, seen the aftermaths, lived through enough near misses to stop flinching. You know you could be robbed in your sleep. or stabbed over nothing, or arrested for just existing in the wrong patch of dirt. And you don't panic, you just file it, like weather, like wind. It's part of the cost. You're not fearless, you're numb. You accept the idea that bad things happen and might happen again, and somehow that clarity lets you breathe. You don't waste energy trying to convince yourself it'll be okay. You know better. And weirdly, that honesty brings a little peace. The only thing scarier than the truth is pretending. 13. Everything becomes the last straw. Once upon a time, a broken zipper would have sent you on a mission. A ripped tarp meant hustling for tape, finding twine, borrowing gear, hustling, fixing, MacGyvering like your life depended on it. But after enough breakdowns, enough losses, enough nights soaked to the bone, your body just stops moving. You sit in the storm, the tarp flaps in your face, your socks fill with cold water, and you just exist there, letting it all hit. Because what are you going to do? Care again? The last straw already broke. The camel's not just dead, he's decomposing. You're past the reaction point. You don't scream, you don't cry, you just go limp and let the universe slap you around for a bit. 14, you find perfection and stick with it. You find the holy grail, a pair of shoes that don't hurt, a shirt that doesn't ride up, a pair of pants with just enough stretch, and you cling to them like sacred artifacts. When those shoes die, you hunt down the exact same pair. You memorize the product number. If Walmart discontinues them, you grieve. You become a minimalist not because you wanted to, but because once something works, you stick. You wear the same shirt every day, not as a fashion choice, but as an act of faith. Why risk disappointment? Comfort is rare. Repeatable comfort is divine. You're not a creature of style anymore. You're a creature of precision and superstition. And you know what? It works. 15. You start giving life advice no one asked for. You become the unsolicited prophet of the parking lot. Don't trust an egg salad sandwich after 3 p.m. Never camp near a creek. Raccoons have unions. Marry someone who knows tarp knots. People walk faster, but you keep going. You're not trying to be wise, you're just full of lived experience and nowhere to pour it. So it leaks out. You talk to dogs, pigeons, disinterested teenagers. You become the weird oracle by the bus bench. Some days you drop truth, other days you tell a kid not to trust anyone in cargo shorts. But in your heart, you've got wisdom to spare. You just hope someone listens before they're too broke, too cold, or too far gone to care. So there it is. 15 signs you've been homeless too long. But let's be honest, friend. Most of us knew by the time we stopped remembering our own address and started calling duct tape a structural element. Being invisible messes with your head. It doesn't just rob you of comfort. It robs you of context, of meaning, of feedback. You start wondering if you even exist when no one looks at you. And when they do look, it's rarely with kindness. But if you're out there seeing yourself in this list, laughing despite yourself, maybe wincing a little too hard at number 3, then know this. You're not alone. You've earned every scar, every weird habit, every stitched up tarp. And maybe you've been out here too long, but you're still here, still swinging, still yelling at the sky just to hear your own echo. I see you, and I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Peace.